Let me know if y'all can hear me because this is going to be very important. What I got to say. You have you have random idiocy, right? You have random. You have people who, unfortunately, in our country, who don't understand general logic. And the reason why I say that is due to the part that, like I told a friend of mine from third grade, I told her, none of your politicians want to really tackle the issues due to the fact that the matter is you're going to have to allow people to protect themselves in various manners. You can't sit around and try to say we need to ban all guns because now who's going to have the guns? The people you really don't want to have them, which are the bad guys. Should we ban AR-15s? No, but not everybody needs one. People say you don't need to hunt a deer with an AR-15. Maybe I do, but don't tell me we don't need to ban guns and your guns. Your issue with guns is the fact that you don't have anybody who respects them. Your issue with guns is the fact that the matter that you have too many people who want to do harm with them and not enough people who wants to do right by them. Sorry. A lot of people get fucked and angry with me when I say this shit. A lot of people get angry with me when I say this shit. The only way you stop a bad guy gun with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Sorry. Do I think 18-year-olds should buy AR-15s? No, unless they're in the military. I think that a lot of things that are going on in this country is, kicking it its own ass right now. I'm back. For some reason, a lot of these politicians don't want you to be armed. They want you to be a victim of circumstance. And then you got to look at how disingenuous a lot of things are from a crime fighting aspect. You're getting a lot of these people going up into buildings, shopping centers, and I'm like, the frequency of this going on is a little bit too coincidental. Okay, and you're gonna say, well, we need a ban on this, we need a ban on that. So when are you gonna allow people to carry to stop the the idiots who do this shit? When are you gonna actually say, hey, we know that there's a lot of evil people out there, and the only way you're gonna survive is if you protect yourself. I'm just saying that one, nobody, and I mean nobody, in their right mind wants to talk about this openly. Salute to the Black Line. Shameless plug right here, boy. Shameless plug. Part of the reasons why people don't think that we need this is because today, I'll let you know. I went, look, you know, trying to speak to my first client. And my client was upset. Like, he wasn't upset, but when I told him, oh, yeah, you already know. If you're not ready by Juneteenth and you have a cookout and you don't have at least 5 people armed with you, you a damn fool. You a damn fool. What's up, Mac Bones? What's up, Aqua Dragon? Enigma, AB, James, Dre, Famous Davis. I'm gonna say this again. If you're not being one on duty, on call, vigilant on Juneteenth, then you like what you like. You like being misused and mistreated. There's no fucking way in hell I'm gonna go to a black function or a black church around Juneteenth and not be armed. Sorry, I just can't. But back to the story, today's story, man. I was talking to a potential client, and to give you context, this client knew me when I was still working with the department. When I told him the rates for unarmed and armed security, he tried to shortchange me and say, well, what if we don't have any armed security and we have 2 unarmed guys at the door? One, just to let you know, when you start a business, you're paying thousands upon thousands of dollars upon hundreds, if not thousands of hours of time. Okay? You get anxiety because you're trying to get all your licenses and your ducks in a row. Because the littlest thing by Maryland State Police, they don't like, you don't get your license until it's filled. I'm even giving you a break on armed, but you're going to tell me during the Pride Parade in Baltimore with a group that's already heavily picked on, heavily accosted, you don't want armed security. That's how I think of the United States. I had to respectfully decline his offer. I had to respectfully decline his offer. And I told him, as the commander of Black Lion Security Firm, I, with sound mind and good conscience, cannot let your business, your guest, and my employees work and there's not one armed officer there. Especially during current events of our country and communities. I could not in good faith do that. See, one thing you learn about security, whether it's your business or whether the security of your own person, you're gonna get what you pay for. You're gonna get what you pay for. You could try to low blow me. You could try to knock my no. You knew me when I was an officer. You wouldn't want me to shortchange my service when I came to answer the calls for your establishment. So why would you shortchange me to be in your security? And that's what this country is. It's shortchanging the security of the American people. Shortchange the American people. There's the GoFundMe. And I look at this guy and I had to like call him back and say I respectfully decline. One, I put too much training, too many hours, and too much of my own fucking money to allow you to shitball me. One thing about business, you're gonna have to respect me, and the next time because I did do it respectfully, declined and said maybe in the future we could work on a more optimal level. You're gonna understand the price is the price, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told a lot of women when I dated them. You should have kept me when I was cheap. I'm gonna say it again. You should have kept me when I was cheap because when I get a hold of the money and I get my VA benefits for this, I'm not going lower than $50 an hour, maybe 65. Because if I go to the instructor school down in Israeli Tactical, I'll be SWAT certified, advanced executive protection certified, all kinds of shit. I'll be instructor certified. The price will go up dramatically. Hell, the price really should be up now from all my years of military and law enforcement experience. You're right, Dari. Quality ain't cheap. And this is how I feel how people are going to treat my business the first go around. So I have to establish look, go ahead and pull the expertise of these motherfuckers and tell them they match up to me. I dare you. Here's my resume. This is what I could do. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to get somebody cheap and they're going to be upset with them. They're going to be upset with them. But that's not my concern. The same way he tried to lowball me when it came to the protection of his patrons is the same fucking way this country is doing the citizens. You want to say a 9 millimeter will do all this, Joe Biden. You want to say that why would anybody need a 9 millimeter, which is a very common round. I kind of wish you politicians would make sense of shit. I wish I actually would read the ballistic reports. You had Dianne Feinstein, a Jewish woman who wants gun control. She doesn't know the history of her people. How the Gestapo took away the guns before they start putting them in internment camps in Nazi Germany. You would think you would be the number one motherfucker who says no to gun control because it's really, really easy to pick on people when they're defenseless. Believe it or not, really, 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 really easy. Really, really easy. It's almost no effort at all. Why do you think they made gun laws? To keep the guns out of black people. To keep guns out of the hands of black people. Now let's be fair. She's 120. Let's be fair. 120. You got these simple-minded ass politicians who never even shot a gun telling you which you cannot have, but yet each one of these fucking politicians, I don't care what party they belong to, are protected by some type of hired security or some type of law enforcement, like the Capitol Police, the Secret Service, and others. It is very disingenuous to say, you don't need an AR-15 or a handgun or a shotgun to protect yourself, but yet you're protected by those same weapons with multiple people surrounding you 24/7. You don't live in the reality of the everyday person. Damn sure not the reality of the everyday black person. You had this incident in Tulsa, right? Somebody came up in the hospital with a weapon. Shoot four dead, then kills himself. I'm starting to think that America likes making victims out of people. You know, I'm starting to believe that they like making people victims. I'm starting to really believe that you don't want the people to be able to protect themselves. You want us to be like Canada, Australia, England, where people are doing. Remember back when they had a guy hit somebody with a car, decapitate somebody with a knife, and then all of a sudden he was stabbing other people, and they needed guns to stop him. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. What's up? But yet, you have another mass shooting, but nobody wants to talk about why. No, they're not starting. They make victims out of people like a factory here. Incredibly, it was only limited to four people, and five if you're counting the shooter. You got to realize something, man. These people are not going to have mercy when they strike. These people are doing things that they know they could get away with because there's no opposition. But once again, you have these politicians. Something's got to be done. You don't need to hunt a deer with an AR-15. Sometimes you do. You don't need to protect yourself with an AR-15. Sometimes you do. It's a weapon of war. No, it's not. I challenge one person on the panel anywhere in YouTube, anywhere in the manosphere to tell me why do they think an AR-15 is a weapon of war? I dare one person to challenge me. It's a weapon of war. I didn't use an AR-15 in war. They made it for civilians. The M16 and the M4 are what you use in warfare. For some odd reason, you think this politician who's been a sheltered ass kid, male or female, can tell me the difference of what can a gun do, what the capabilities, or what the caliber can do. I really laugh at that. I really laugh at that. You're going to sit here and tell me, in good faith, this politician who's never shot a gun in their life can tell me more about the ballistics, can tell me about the effective range, can speak to me about anything with a firearm. You're right. The M249, which stands for Squad Automatic Weapon, which is a machine gun, is a warfare weapon, not an AR-15. You know the one place they never talk about? They never talk about Switzerland, where everybody in the fucking country got M4s, not AR-15s, military grade M4s. Has anybody heard of the gun violence in Switzerland? Neither did I. And they're issued from the government. Sorry. I keep saying it. Gun control in all these cities, what has it done? You haven't realized something like we learned in the years of prohibition. Just because you outlaw alcohol doesn't mean people are not going to find a way to get it. You're going to make underground sales skyrocket, and you're going to make a new breed of gunsmiths. You're going to make it even more dangerous, and you're going to make it even more lucrative for the black market. Now, nobody wants to sit down and talk about reasonable solutions to guns. Why? Because you've been pumping the shit in there. Shout out to Enigma for the Cash App support. For the Black Line. Woo! But you know what truly disturbs me is that there's more and more blood on these politician hands when they can tell citizens, hey, you got to arm up. We, as the government, the police, law enforcement, the military, we may not get to you in time. You are still responsible. Yes, police are responsible for the crime and the preservation of life. I'm tired of you motherfuckers keep saying that police don't protect people. That's your primary goal. We don't protect property. We can't shoot over property. I wish people stopped telling me what the fuck I did for over a decade and a half. There's no way in hell we're going to prioritize property over a person. No way in hell. But yet, when you tell people, hey, you got to play your part in the protection of your community, we become cowardly and lazy. You've seen how under fire the UV Texas police chief is getting asked all these questions, and he's trying to deflect. He's trying to avoid. There's nobody who's a goddamn expert talking about gun violence. I think it's real funny that you'll see a Brandon Tatum and a Sergeant Dorsey on all these news channels, but Officer Faulkner will never get on because Officer Faulkner's going to keep it real. I'm going to tell it like it is, whether if I like it or not. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to keep it real. You're going to tell me that if I was the governor of Maryland, I would feel cool letting a hardworking, good citizen person not be able to protect themselves. Especially when you have an issue with education, which also breeds a criminal element. But nobody wants to talk. Have you ever noticed none of the politicians ever talk about fucking education? Which the lack of such breeds crime. Look it up. It breeds crime. When you have criminals who don't have a way to make an honest living, guess what you're going to do? You're going to have crime. And with that crime usually comes what? Violent crime. I don't know what's going on, but people, a lot of people who are being disingenuous don't want to talk the truth. You got literally motherfuckers who don't even understand basic criminology, basic ways of actually fixing a community, but they will go around it openly and try to blame something else. You'll blame gun manufacturers, because guess what? Nobody ever wants to sue, any of the fucking knife makers when they make kitchen knives and people get stabbed with them. People do stupid shit with cars every day. Are we gonna sue fucking GM, Ford, Chevrolet? We gonna sue them? We gonna? I mean, really? We're looking for reasons. I mean, stupid reasons to solve this easy problem. It's funny how I hear politicians lately talk about ballistics and how a 9 millimeter blows your lungs out and all this other shit. I said, what type of 9 millimeter is that? What type of 9 millimeter is that? I actually have to agree with Coleon Noir because if Joe Biden had elementary school kids going to that damn school, that would have never happened. If any of your parents, a scary kind of 9 millimeter. 9 millimeters are subsonic. You got to realize something. A lot of these politicians, yep, there was another one, Dar Dar. It was in Tulsa at a hospital. You got to think about it, right? This is a situation where how many times do you have to walk through a door to understand that you're going to get hit? How many times are you going to have to walk through that door to know? Pretty much Journal said, I'm on the gun broker right now. I'm sorry. You're a grown man who can legally purchase firearms. Do so, please, because you never know when you might need it. You may have it all the time and never need it, but it's better to do that than to need it and never have it. Let's talk some real turkey for a second. We already dealing with low quality law enforcement in some of these areas because law enforcement is becoming desperate that they're picking up whoever and whomever instead of the best like they used to. They're getting rid of all the experienced officers who can handle shit for the rookies who they can play less and make them work longer and more. When has that ever been the best solution for America, for your community? See, politicians love talking that good shit, man. Politicians love talking that good shit. But tell them, do you know how to properly clear a 9 millimeter Beretta M9 and M4? Do you know how to clear it, render it safe? No, then shut the fuck up because you're more than happy to send young men and women who are 18 possibly to their deaths. Hold on. My son was checking on me. We gotta have a real honest conversation about this shit. Hmm. Freeman Journal said exactly. Black people really won't like it when MS-13 is patrolling a hood in uniform, and that's another issue. You're getting gang members into the military, into the police, into the fire departments, learning these tactics, learning all kinds of shit to teach their fucking fellow gang members. And if you're of able body and of age, aren't you joining these places? Why aren't you joining these places? Well, it's gonna be a little dangerous. You know, I'm gonna have to figure out something. I'm gonna put it in God's hands. But yet, God gave you a way to put something in your hands to actually prolong the life of you and your family. You're getting a bunch of these people with their inadequate ways, their inadequate mindset, who are mad and upset with things that are out of your control, and they wish to do harm to you. They wish to be evil with you. It's us as men, as black men, to protect each other. Because guess what? The child you may save may be your own or your neighbor's. But at the same time, we're going to have to vote people in who really give a fuck about the community and give a fuck about its citizenry. You got all these laws against guns, but you notice gangs still get them. Criminals still get them. It's almost despicable, really. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say. I'm going to ask you in the chat. How long have I been giving warnings like this? Not only to black people, but American people, period. How long have I how long have I been giving these warnings, man? I'm gonna ask you all that. How long have I gave these warnings out? Yeah, 6 years at least, minimal. Long time, right? And how many incidents or things like this did I predict? How many times have I predicted this shit? I've said it on Art New Styles channel. Because they did not throw, thank you, Rom, for your cash, for your super chat. You've been saying it for years. Yeah, think about it. I've been more accurate than what I give myself credit for. I've said it on Art New Styles channel. Because because they didn't fry Homeboy in that incident, you're gonna see a bunch of copycats, a bunch of 18 year olds replicating the same shit. And then he got off. Kyle Rittenhouse or whatever the hell his name is. Because they did not settle, because they didn't tame that shit. Broken Blade, thank you. Thank you for the compliments on the logo. I helped designed it. The patches and t-shirts are coming out soon. Support your boy. It's crazy because a lot of us are not being told the truth. A lot of us are being told a bunch of bullshit lies. A bunch of us are being told stay sheep. Dardar says, "Yep, they think it's okay to do this now. America ain't gonna be punished, ain't gonna punish its privileged groups." And that's what happened with Cal Rittenhouse. A phony crying on the stand. The fact that his mother should have been charged as well. Let's think about it. Where do you see black people arming their children across state lines to go help out in a place that need not their help? And you got motherfuckers like Brandon Tatum who won't call him a murderer. And they said, well, he seemed like a good kid. He was helping out. But yet, you got Tatum who would throw a black person under a bus quicker than motherfucker. I think I think Arbery needs to be thrown in jail if he lived. You trying to fucking protect a bunch of white fucking supremacists, and each and every time you look stupid when you defend these motherfuckers. I'm even looking funny at Sergeant Dorsey when she said there should be more jobs for black female officers. Get the fuck out of here, Sergeant Dorsey. You know, like I know, in the police department, it's not the fucking black women that are doing the heavy lifting. If anything, how many try to sleep their way to the top? How many are just lazy to go do their jobs? And here's the fucked up part. They're going to climb through the fucking ranks and while doing it be insubordinate as hell to all their male fucking commanders. And all you're gonna do is push for these bitches to all go into fucking Austin so they could do the fucking most laid back, lazy ass shit they could find. We need, but yet it always points out how many feminist ass leanings people got. You don't think black men need them jobs? Why should we hire more black women? She actually said it when I was on her, when I actually called in, when she says we need to get more, we need to get more jobs to black women for police. This is what the fuck people think about you when it comes to you getting the keys to the kingdom. These are the same motherfuckers when you put yourself in the position to be the protector, the provider, the problem solver. Everybody's gonna try to jump you in fucking line. But no, what happens? What happens? You're gonna complain when you can't get through what you need to get through as an officer. Why didn't the men help me? Because you took a damn good provider job out of a man's hands. Y'all want to be men so much? Go out there in the front line. I'll tell you how bullshit some of this stuff is. We want women to be in combat groups as much too. For what? So you could be less effective? But I also thought that that's sexist. So the fuck what? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I dare one motherfucker to prove me wrong that police departments, fire departments, and the military is more effective because of women. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go right ahead and tell me something fucking lying. And then here's the crazy part. You get these fucking chicks and promote it. Now to get to talk nasty to fucking people. But yet, how many times have I told you, black man, the white people are giving you the keys to the kingdom. They can't even rely on each other for protection. I've been saying this since January 6th of last year. Hell, the Great Faulkner Initiative even longer than that. It's been proven. The fucking three things black people don't give a fuck about. Number one is black boys. Number two is education. Number three is being the heroes of your own fucking narrative. The reason why you don't like it because your mama don't want you to be the hero. She wants you to be real subservient so she can still use you because the hero is going to be the one who gets to do the ordering around. You have to obey who protects you. That's how it works. The first rule of protection is obedience. You really think some chick is going to come out there and try to save you, put herself between you and a robber? You got motherfuckers who were fucking female officers who are sergeants now who were cowards, scared out of their fucking shadows. And the ones who actually were pulling their weight made them look bad because the majority of them made them look bad. And even with that being said, here's the fucked up part. A lot of them were too scared to speak up against them. How do you get to be a sergeant? Oh, wait a minute. Let's back up for a minute. How do you keep your job as an officer when you're on a post-only post and only can leave it when you're relieved, and nobody can find you when there's a shooting on your post, and everybody, all the units, including the sergeant, lieutenant, and the major, comes to your post and nobody knew where the fuck you were? You weren't suspended. You weren't terminated. You weren't even charged. They just put you out of the unit. They just took you out the squad car and put you as a floater. Not only that, you were able to become a detective, then a sergeant. Where that would have happened to a man? But you know, Sergeant Dorsey said we should get more female police officers. I think it's about time Officer Faulkner start coming for the necks of all these fucking officers in the manosphere, in the area. I think it's about time I start coming for people's fucking necks and hold them accountable. What do you think? And it's funny, I'm the first motherfucker to condone the actions of the UV police officers. I'm the first motherfucker to say that was cowardly. The first motherfucker to tell you that's cowardly. Here it is. You get a whole panel, and I think it's funny, right? You get a panel of talking about black police. You don't see Brandon Tatum, even though he stole my shit from Sunday. I literally went through the same guidebook, and I'm listening to him when he talks about the shootings and all this and the mass shootings and go through the 67% of mass shootings were committed by handguns. He did the whole fucking thing. No credit for it. You don't see Sergeant Dorsey said, hey, let's get that Baltimore guy up here. He was a cop. You don't see Brandon Tatum even saying it, even just for a different point of view. But I'm calling a lot of you motherfuckers out because here it is. Here it is. Not one damn time did any of you say, let's get more black officers in the black communities. I originated that. Let's get more black officers involved in the schools when it comes to coaching and mentoring. I started that. Let's start a program for young kids in middle school and high school to actually envelop and develop them to be the police officers. I started that. Hell, I'm one half of the Great Faulkner Initiative speaking before you. But here's the crazy part. A lot of naysayers in the black manosphere will come after my neck, but won't come after them too. Motherfuckers literally took my stick and tried to say he was the first. And it's amazing, right? It's amazing how all these things happening. When has even major black YouTubers ever interviewed me? Shout out to Dr. Neil because we're doing an interview tomorrow with the good doc. What about any of the real prominent YouTubers? Let's have a conversation of a guy who's experiencing this shit. But people would rather believe the sensational lie over the simplistic truth over any day. Even when I went to Bernard Raleigh, you couldn't ask me about how to solve crime or what the goes through. What are the day-to-day procedures of a police officer? It's always got to be dirty cops. Why the fuck do I got to talk about dirty cops? That's only 2% of the goddamn police. But you never hear about the hero cops. You just always hear about the fucked up ones. You can save a million people, won't even get one mention in the newspaper. Let you appear to make a mistake. Let somebody's feelings get hurt because you told them the truth. You're going to be put out of there. Bad cops sell papers. Bad cops sell press. None of these other police officers on YouTube never ever said invest into the youth, but me. None of them. My body of work stands up for itself. I wish I really would have started this shit years ago, years earlier. Godzilla said, we have that program in Texas. My son is one of the law enforcement magnet school programs. I volunteered for the statewide junior law enforcement competition. Namer said, Charles Faulkner Jr., you think they let you be on their platform? You'll destroy their bottom line. They make bank on controversy instead of the truth. Of course. Of course. Let's, it goes back into the black on black crime bullshit. Why don't you ever hear about white on white crime or Asian on Asian crime? You commit crime who are the closest to you. I keep saying, why do you have over 100,000 more fucking aggravated assaults and murders, obviously, an aggravated assault by default? But nobody wants to talk about that shit, right? Nobody wants to talk about that factor. How the fuck can I commit more murders, but you commit more aggravated assaults? 100,000 more. So somebody's manipulating the numbers. It's almost shameful, man. Hmm. Cop the Beretta 92G Elite. Stay strapped, my friends. You know why? Because the topic of bad cops always sell press, always get numbers. And then, you know what happens is everybody wants to try to use me as a punching bag for all the bad experiences they got with cops, which I'm not going to allow you to do. But here's the problem. Woo, Arts New Style. Mike V, what's up? Here's the ultimate problem. Because we need more people on YouTube who are black creating spaces, safe havens for great intellectual thought. We need to come up with a solution that talks about how our community should be flourishing, how our community should be protected. Nobody wants to have those conversations because, those are the conversations that you're supposed to produce what? Growth? That's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I tell you, man. Shout out to the Freedmen's Journal with the Cash Absolute. It's ridiculous. Not only did I start a company where protection is the name of the game, and I've been doing it since 17 and I'm 40, I'm even trying to start a nonprofit to train young men in paramilitary arts to get the skills that's going to pay some bills. I'm more invested in a community that's not even invested in me. Make that make fucking sense. Make that make fucking sense. Something's got to give, man. I would, but I smoke too much. But I wish though. Something's got to give. Because thanks to guys like Mike V and others who showing me how to get these grants, oh, we're going to make dreams come true. We're going to show you how daddy is going to ball and how dreams are going to come through. Broken Blade said, I don't think it's possible to make sense of it at this point. Logic took its ball and went home a long time ago. Of course. Of course. It's a fundamental fact that once you start going logical, everybody else is going to hate. It's fundamental, man. Mm. I just look at this shit and I just be like, wow. I'm like, wow. And I bet you they have no problem making a black man look like the big, spooky, the most dangerous killing man on the earth. That black man there. Really, nigga? Really? Despicable. But yet, all of a sudden now, they want to talk about mental illness with these fucking murderers. But they don't want to talk about mental illness when black people do it. Oh, they need to be locked away. Throw away the key. Mm-mm-mm. It's getting disgusting out here, man. They never say, what about the children in the black communities? It's okay for you to live in gangland, but as soon as it crosses over to white people, oh my God, it's an epidemic. We're getting, we're gonna get exposed one day, like an open sore or open, just an opening somewhere, and somebody needs to tell people why can't we invest in the protection of ourselves. There was a story where a woman killed a man coming in with a fucking AR pistol. He came in there trying to shoot. Lady lit his ass up with a handgun. Boom, 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 boom. Where are we being realistic anymore? When are we going to be realistic? I'm urging each one of you to go to your mayors, your senators, your city council and say, what can we do to protect ourselves? And if it's not legal concealed carry, then you don't want to hear shit about it. If they tell you something about a gun law, ask them, have they ever shot a gun? Do they routinely practice on a gun? Uh-uh-uh. I don't know. A lot of people are going to be done, God willing, that you're not caught in the crossfire of some idiot and have no way to protect yourself or your family. I pray that nothing but safety and and prosperity happens for you and your family. But just in case there's an idiot, make sure something that goes boom is nearby. I just hope that these things come better. Freeman's Journal with the $5 super chat. Another faithful supporter, man. I appreciate you. And Charles Faulkner Jr., what do you think policing will be in 10 years after the police departments have been staffed with personnel subjected to low standards. What's going on now? What's going on now is because they've been preaching consent decree, consent decree, consent decree. They've been putting fear for a lot of these young officers to even act. And now you're getting a bunch of officers who are too cowardly to do their jobs. You have to do your jobs. Hold on. I think that really we're getting a taste of it now. You're getting, look what happened in UV, Texas. You get a bunch of officers who weren't clear to make a decision. You should have had officers who would have disobeyed them. That was not a lawful order given. That wasn't a lawful order which they should have disobeyed and go into that school. There's a clip of Baltimore police officers on Gorsuch and Old York, the other side's Greenmount, where a female officer is getting keys taken with her and suspects are running away from her. They're getting a bunch of laziness. You're gonna think about it. Word on the street is Baltimore Police Department's trying to get 30% female. They're trying to get 30% female. And I've already said this. The more you let in, the dumber the standards are going to be. Because they ain't trying to do no work. Yeah, that's the rumor mill. They're trying to make it. That's why they're trying to get a lot of females in high positions. Once that shit happens, when all these females get in these high positions, the department's gonna disintegrate. It's gonna implode. Marilyn Mosby's too busy trying to steal money to fucking be a cop. Hell, she can't even be a damn good state's attorney. You talk about dirty cops, you talking about dirty state's attorneys. Think about that. Goddamn state's attorney lying on documentations. You're a fucking lawyer. You can't read? Can't fucking read the documentations. That's another thing. You got these lazy ass state's attorneys who ain't about shit. Not a goddamn thing. You're right. Black culture, as led by black women, ruins any bureaucracy. It's going to be such a stupid ass time if they allow that shit to be. But don't take my word for it. Go ahead and do the studies of what happens when women get let into Ranger School. Why don't you think? Yeah, Tank's represented well. I said, think about this, right? I'm gonna find that post where the Marine Corps fucking captain actually fucking said why women should stay out of combat roles. But because this feminism is so strong in these motherfuckers, she said one, she became temporarily sterile. She lost a lot of muscle mass and bone density. It took months to gain the shit back, and her fertility. But yet, they want to undermine men so badly that they really want to do anything to say you're their equal, and they're not. I'm just speechless, man. My department was asking for volunteers to help out with the UV traffic control, 12-hour shifts. Only the bootlickers and the FMLA abusers, oh man. Medical leave abusers, wow, did it. The majority were disgusted with the department, wondering, hmm, yeah, that's every department. You can approve volunteers to go to UV, but you can't fucking give people their leave. You and God forbid if you get sick and you take sick leave, you're the devil then. Never mind how you feel. Never mind how your child feels. You're the devil if you kept sick leave. It's sickening, man. But look at it. All these motherfuckers that go are gonna get paid overtime. They're gonna get paid comp time. They're gonna have to let them go. It's sad. Let's look at this goofy shit. Let's look at this goofy shit. You can't give officers fucking leave, but you can get sign up for volunteers. And then you wonder why people are leaving your departments. You don't. You go by multiple test questions to promote people, and you never make it merit based. You never make it competency. Just a multiple question test. I'm gonna sign off with this, man. The lesson I learned today when I went to go see my first client: never undercut your price. The price is the goddamn price. A lot of people are gonna ask for deals. They're gonna ask for things, and you stand firm. If you know what you give is a quality product, don't settle for less. Even when I try to give the man great consultation, security, constant consultation. When I try to give him the consultation, he was like, "Well, we don't want to give people the bad impression." But yet, you're going to give people a bad impression if somebody brings a weapon or a gun in there and there's nobody who could defend the people. The price is the fucking price. And you think you complaining now, wait till the skills go back up. You should have kept me when I was cheap. And that's how I feel about the United States. You're not putting out quality, you're putting out bullshit, especially when it comes to the protection of your citizens. Why not put out quality police, quality training for firearms, and quality mental evaluations? Why not allow some of these teachers to carry? Hey, congratulations to your business as well. Remember, never compromise your price because this is what the fucking federal government is doing to the people of the United States. You're compromising our fucking safety. Let people who go through the sufficient enough training, go through the background check, go through the mental evaluations, allow them to defend their goddamn selves. Stop this bullshit. Stop it, stop it, stop it. You let people protect themselves. Well, one, if you want a personal security firm, you got to have at least 5 years of law enforcement experience in Maryland. I tell you, man, it's a damn shame that we got to convince our elected officials who work for us to allow us to protect ourselves against threats. Ain't that about a bitch? Till next time, folks. Woo! And we out.